the casualties of living in the woods. There's freaking leaves everywhere. The GT350 super dirty, but I'm gonna go to Titan today and do our baseline dyno for this weekend's project, where we're gonna do the exhaust intake and tune, and then do a follow-up dyno. We just won't have time to do it that morning, and it's an hour-and-a-half ride. So I was thinking about this as I'm driving down the road. Let's talk about the Redenso a little bit. You know, I think it's a cool looking little unit. You know, once you get it out of the box, it looks kind of old school. But installed, it looks super clean. You know, especially on the blend mount. But this one, I think it's $400 for it. The Redenso XP. It's GPS enabled, so you're able to mark positions. I still haven't figured out how that works. I figured out how to mark a user point, but a user point doesn't help me. I want it to mute. So, you know, what I'd hope the operation would be is that, you know, like the Escort, the Passport Max, if it's GPS enabled, and once you drive by a position 3 times, you know, it marks it. And so this one doesn't do that. You're supposed to be able to mark the position. But I, for the life of me, can't figure out which button's supposed to do that. The other thing that's a little bit clunky on it, maybe there's some firmware updates for this. Like, you know, I'll hit the mute button and the thing just doesn't, like 2 seconds later, the mute will turn off. It's just kind of weird. The other thing I don't like about this thing is, like, it doesn't, see what I'm saying? Like, as soon as it gets, all right, mute, shut up. It mutes for a second, but then I think as soon as the signal strength of that alarm or that alert, that false alert, as soon as it changes, then mute turns off automatically. You know, once you turn a mute on, you would hope that it mutes it until it senses a new alert. So that's one of the little issues with it. But, you know, ultimately, I still think I like the Passport Max much better. Just simply because it learns everything. I don't have to do any work. It just works. You know, after driving by a thing a few times, and it just marks that position. It doesn't have the alarm go off again. All right, so that Titan, I'm gonna roll it up on the dyno. I'm gonna try to get the GoPro over here on the side so we can get the gauges. We got trucks everywhere, so it's not gonna make for very good audio. We'll roll it up on the DynoJet and then get a quick baseline. So we'll probably do 2 or 3 pulls and then call it a day. It's such a huge amount of work just to get freaking one baseline dyno, but I just think it's worth the effort. I think it'll be cool to get that, to get the car up on here, and then, even I'm assuming it's gonna make, you know, 450, something like that at the wheels. So anyway, that's what we're doing. All right, so we're measuring the wheelbase so that we can set up the dyno. It's so much work just to get this thing set up, get it on there, get it rolling, make sure that the freaking thing doesn't shoot through the wall, you know, when it's going 120 miles an hour on the rollers. So yes, to get it all set up, and then that way we can at least get a baseline. And this will be when I do the baseline versus the headers and exhaust, it'll be the first and last time this car gets on the dyno, I bet. It's just not, it's not really worth it. But anyway, I thought it'd be cool just to see this, you know, the power difference between the two. Find the coil pack so we can get a signal in order for the dyno to create or calculate torque, wheel torque. Wes was just telling me, you know, this 1,500 horsepower cars, you know, they used to strap it to this lift, hold it to the ground, but it would, you know, the freaking poles would bend in. So the good news is we won't be making that much horsepower, so we won't have to worry about it. So it's 62% humidity, 82 degrees. Should be, you know, be better if it was 40 degrees, but should be the same temper on Saturday when we come and do, or similar temperature when we do the headers and everything. Headers, intake, exhaust, the basic fans rolling. Again, I don't really care as much about making the most power. I just want to get a, we're going to do the same thing when we dyno it next time. So we'll set it up, you know, we'll have the same fans, the same conditions, so that we get a, you know, a reasonably accurate idea of what, you know, what extra horsepower the car makes. Really, there's no reason to do this, just mainly for fun for me. To roll it just to check, make sure everything looks good. And then we'll roll it a little bit at low speed, and then he'll tighten it down before you go, you know, 100 and whatever miles an hour. You know, the straps on the front wheels really aren't doing anything other than keeping the car from going side to side. Sport. Right here. So we'll go sport, right? And you'll have to turn the traction control off, I would think. Alright. Should be good to go. Roll it. It's gonna be freaking crazy loud. Yeah, 467, 362. 460, 356, or 459. All right, you're going to red line. I think that's all we need, bro. Two runs. We got good clean. Yep. I mean, there's no reason to beat the crap out of it and keep running it. So
I agree.
I mean, we might make 3 more horsepower if it adapts, but who cares? Yeah, that and eventually the traction control gets nutty anyway. So that's all I need. So we need to make sure we save that for Saturday, so we can do a comparison. So all that frickin' work for a minute on the dyno, done. Piece of cake. So we do 2 runs, get the heck out of here, unscathed. I'll do 2 or 3 runs with the tune and everything. You know what I might want to do? I might want to put the tune on the car first. Yeah, because we're not going to be able to drive out of here and back in on Saturday. They drive up and down the road to like... I'll have to think about that. If you've never been in Titan. There's a VF. Supercharged R8, V10 R8. Always something crazy here. Go back. There you go.
Walk away.
What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor.